gonna talk about only sex. That, yeah. And I didn't intend this animation, but it worked. So, hi, I'm non-feminist Sonube. Yeah. Well, why I'm not feminist, I will talk soon. And first, I want to suggest a journey of feminism. Okay. I will take an example for a body. To look for our body, I will tell you how we wear our colored glasses and how we see the body. Okay, I confess, I'm not a feminist. I'm rather close to be a fan. Sex and gender problem are never easy subject. You may take this confess as an excuse, but that is the truth. I'm learning about gender is made by human, but I don't know about how to make a neutral word and give explanation for a woman. Basically, we easily criticize and judge someone, even though we don't actually know them. So I can imagine my friend who takes natural science, Iqua, know all about Big Bangs and nuclear physics, right? Therefore, what I want to say is I'm not a professional feminist. In other words, I'm nervous, so cheer me up. Okay. So, recently, I was confused because feminism let me see the world in a different way. There is my favorite quote. Yeah. We tend to regard a bond as hard. What does it mean? I understood in this way. Bonds mean what we think. This is something never changed and natural. But feminism says there is no absolute and essential thing. Yeah, it's like I am a Sonube and I have many identities. And many identities is determined by a social context. Yeah. For example, in Korea, I'm a middle class student, a teenager, male, gentle guy. And if I go to the Germany someday, my race, Asian, so people more consider about my race. Okay? So, but that doesn't mean there is no bone. Bone is existed, but it changes its shape with fat and muscles. I'm existed in here in my body, and that is not changed. And society looks me and determined my identities. So I have changed my theory. There is the bone. Bone is existed clearly, but bone is not as hard as we think. Its shape is flexibly determined with muscles and fats. That is to say, social context. So at last, we have a body named Sonube. That's important to me. That is the bone, but bone wear muscles and fats. Okay. I'm poor at speaking, so it feels hard to express my thought and scars, usually. I realize it's extremely hard to have my own language and expression. It's because every conversation is interpretation and translation. 통역과 번역. To say simply, at the moment I say my thought, it is transformed and distorted. Human created language to as expression tool. So people meet in somewhere, and let's call this sky and love. And how can this ready-made and old language it can express my dark and twisted and beautiful mind? However, we communicate with language but not telepathy, so we are having a risk whenever we translate our thought. Understand? Okay. Our thought can be recognized without language. Or so we can say my reality can be realized without being a language. Yeah. So this picture shows about the difficulties to express my thought and emotions. So back to the context. Is anybody here who has never thought about how to speak my message sincerely? I guess no one. Or limitation of utterance. I think most of us have trouble to express and emit my thought and emotion. But there is another difficult task. Explain the word. Reality is always faster than explanation. For example, we have many activities in EU school. And we usually having next activities before I get meaning and lesson. So, what did you get from Hangul or internship? We recognize something more clearly when we can explain and name it. Like Hangul was nightmare for me, and my internship conclusion was answering from question about what is an art. So I could see my activities more clearly. For example, on another example, Inuit have many words to describe the snow, like slowly falling snow and snow and melt in the water. They have many other words. And Korean have many words to describe relatives, like 이모, 삼촌, 외숙모. In other case, and it's because they've had to take concern with snow and relatives because of environment, so they make explanations and names, and they recognize the snow and relatives more accurately than other human groups. So language shows its users' necessity and recognition, which is what they need and how they think. And we look the word with that language. To summarize, explaining the reality is hard. But it is important to see the word. It is important to see the word clearly. Everyone go through the hard time. In one case, I was tired and burned out. So I called my friend Hosan to balcony. But I can't speak in front of Hosan anything. Even though I had some trouble, I don't know why I'm depressed, so it was much hard time. Hosan might have the hardest time because he didn't know why I called him. After that, I explained to myself that I was exhausted by huge studies and activities. So reality becomes real when it gets explanation or language. But that's not easy and not autoplayed. At this point, feminism can feminism could be an explanation for women. Women can explanation their unfair and oppressing world with this tool. Hip-hop is same, I think, because hip-hop says, don't ignore me because I'm black. I'm rich and famous. I'm a hip-hop fan. I'm listening hip-hop very often. And one day I thought hip-hop is black people's counter culture against oppression of white people. Black people had oppressed by white people, so they swag their masculinity in a song. But problem is, they use white people's language, so they sometimes ignore the woman, like bitch and another words. So feminism lets us know a history that women had been oppressed in patriarchy system about 50,000 years. We can see a context of pain because feminism explains why I hurt. With social construct approach, you are depressed not because of your disability, but because of society that ignore the parenting and housework. So it helps them to interpretative, see the reality clearly with the feminism language. This approach can be a useful interpretative frame to look other social identities, like age and class, disability, sexuality. Marxism said workers of the world unite. Then feminism said women of the world band together. But the reason I like feminism is its power that admit possibility that we can be another woman. I mean, feminism deconstruct woman and man into weak object, special periphery, and strong subject, universal center. So it had its unpredictable subversive power. It deconstructs the confrontation between woman and man, and it deconstructs man and woman categories, like to question, to give a question. It gives question about identity. So I want to say feminism is like a beautiful knife. It gives this question, and I think feminism theory is like a beautiful knife. So my real topic is our body is a battlefield. I will quote the field, and I will quote the feminist Judith Butler's words in the beginning. We have known there are sex and gender, but in fact, sex is recognized as gender. You are a woman or man. There is no one who's in middle. Sometimes people said I'll act like a female. Actually, I don't like exercise and doing hard fight or something. They would mean calm and soft personality. So this is a gender. Calm and soft personality connected with women, and powerful and aggressive personality is connected with men. Some time ago, I went to hip-hop concert. It was held in classical theory, so I listened sitting on the couch. Anyway, I talked to my friend, rapper, do you know Red Cloud? And I talked to my friend. Rapper Matt Clown represents intellectual and smart masculinity, because they were all these guys are muscle and aggressive. So I thought appearance of Matt Clown it shown the new masculinity, 새로운 남성성 to me. So I can be a member of men's area thanks to verify masculinity. But I feel like I'm still trapped and oppressed than comfortable or belonging. Following the Judith Butler's performativity theory, we perform gender. It's like I'm asked to be act like a man, so I can cry or kiss to my friend. I'm ordered to act as a man in a daily level, like hair, clothes, language, behavior. Yeah, my pink hair doesn't prove I have courage to wear a skirt or makeup. Anyway, I act like a man and embody that masculinity in myself. And I can't be just pure man, and I think also there is no pure man. But so society want me to act like a man, and I act. So, for example, ugly duckling must be stressed whenever he's in Swan's group. He can't live as a dog because he can't be a dog. My friends often worry about my military service. They may worry that my personality and masculinity, submission, violence that military want may conflict. Most of the people advise I should accept the identity because I'll be a real man for it. So it's tough life to me. But I want to say, sex itself is artificial, but not absolute thing. Male and female is traditionally divided by sex organ, but this process is artificial division. These people, androgyny has both penis and vagina, so they couldn't be understand existed sex and sex division system. So chromosome, 염색체, and hormone are another scientific standard which is not absolute and perfect. Person who has vagina but much testosterone is man or woman. We need to deconstruct norm sex for those alienated people by male and female categories. In here, deconstruction is relativity. As we did, every man is not same as man, and every sex is not same. And let me explain. Sex is recognized as gender in another aspect. We have a body. A body is a body, but each body doesn't change when you look at it different. For instance, our body doesn't change into thin body even we want to lose our weight. So I want to introduce the philosopher Edmund Husserl. And Husserl suggests about the phenomenology. So Husserl said, it is not the cat, and it is not the spiritual recognition for cats, but there is a phenomenon that we recognize the cat. So, but we wear colored glasses already. I mean, everyone wears glasses consistent with identity and ideology, knowledge, and values. As I told you, words are translated at the very moment we pronounced. Our recognition is possible when reality passes through our glasses, so becomes phenomenon. If we call one of lens is sex division system, our body and acting are divided male and female, and masculine and feminine, and reach to our eyes. More specifically, our body is also translated. Yeah. And we translated the body. And which body is sexy in person is determined by anthropological universal instinct and sociocultural preference and personal taste. Especially social one is called sexuality. Women try to lose weight because they want to get a sexual attractiveness for what society wants. Of course, I'm not a woman, so I don't care about my body. But if I do, I will do a diet for health. What about love? Yeah, so how people thought about sexy body is one of the sexuality. So what about love? There are two types in here. One is a person who doesn't love, and one is person can't love. And I'm a person who can't love. Anyway, at least I think we can't separate physical love and spiritual love, but love of others and the teenager is oppressed. At least they are allowed as spiritual love. The state of student is not only obstacle. Elders love, homosexuals love, and disabled love. Society condemn and regard these persons' love as abnormal and like 견태. So for them, love is not natural, but love is something to achieve and fight and win it. The movie 은교 is suggested because it treats about elders' love. So, and I said to my friend Juwon and Yongho that I would like to help to sell condoms. It's like one of the projects, and I saw it as alright. The reason I choose this topic is body and love is something people regarded as natural and biological thing, but I think it's not. Body and love doesn't exist itself, but interpreted and translated with gender and sexuality. We saw love has different meaning for different subjects, so we just simply constructed the norm love. And my conclusion is, our body is translated by society, so it's not natural and biological, but rather body is political battlefield. Yeah.